Small. Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Oh, you have probably from Cantor's emails for the choir.
shevet achim, shevet achim kam yachad, yai lai lai, yana na na na, nema tov, yana na na na, umalayim, yana na na na, shevet achim, shevet achim kam yachad. Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, oh sisters and brothers, and sing Hine Matov. Yai lai lai, yana la la la, Hine Matov. Yana la la la, umanayim. Yana la la la, shevet achim. Shevet achim kam yachad, yai lai lai.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It's wonderful to come together and find peace and being with each other on this Shabbat. We're glad to have everyone who's here in person in our sanctuary and everyone who's joining us on our live stream here together this evening. We get to celebrate two special simchas as part of tonight's service. First, we celebrate with our 12th graders, many of whom have been coming to this temple since they were very small children. And now we watch them as they head off into the world and into their journeys ahead. And each of them will have a chance to share a little bit about their reflections on some experience that happened during their time at RTFH. And we get to celebrate with Aaron Levinson, who is having his B'nai Mitzvah this Shabbat. And Aaron will be leading parts of our service, as he does most every Friday night here in our congregation from the pews. We got him to come up and stand up here tonight. And so we're delighted to start with welcoming Aaron and his family. We invite Aaron and his parents, Gwen and Justin, and his brother Malachi, to join us up on the bima as we lead our candle blessing on page 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
The Kiddush is on page 123. Please rise. first graduate to share is Asher Eisauer.
One of my favorite memories at RTFH was my confirmation class's RAC trip. The RAC trip, short for Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, is a trip in which hundreds of Jewish high schoolers gather in Washington, D.C. to advocate to Congress about important issues in our world from a Jewish perspective. The issue that we were advocating for was stricter gun control laws, specifically regarding assault weapons. An event that we constantly alluded to in our speech was the tragic shooting at the Tree of Life Synagogue in late 2018. Through this advocacy, I was able to address some of my own grievances for the lives that were lost, while also instilling a new sense of hope. This trip not only gave us a platform to potentially improve the lives of Jews, but for everyone living in the United States. Thank you.
We welcome Shabbat with Lecha Dodi on page 138, doing verses 1, 2, and then rising for verse 9.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala Pelei Shabbat nikabelat Yalalai lalalai 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 Lecha Dodi Yalalai likrat kala shamoy v'zachor bedibur lechand ishmi'anu el amiyuchand Adonai Shemo echad leshem utiferet v'litila yalalai lalalai 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 Lecha Dodi yalalai yalalai Likrat Shabbat lechu v'lelcha ki mekor haberacha merosh mikedem neshucha סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה יללי 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 Lecha Dodi יללי 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 לקראת קהלה Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pelei Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, Pelei Shabbat nekabela. התעוררי, כי בא האורך קומי אורי Adonai, alaik niblach. Ay, 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 lekadoti. Ay, 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 lekatz kala. Ay, 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 b'nei Shabbat. B'nei Shabbat nekavela.
Please rise.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvetzola tochem ulei am segula boi chala boi chala ay 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 lekadoti ay 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 likrat skala ay 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela ay 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 lekadoti ay 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 likrat skala ay 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 b'nei Shabbat nekavela.
We remain standing and turn to the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Baruch Adonai hamivorach le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. Our next graduate is Betty Rosepstein.
From when I started Hebrew school to now, I found myself to be a part of a wonderful and welcoming community. The support and guidance I have received throughout the years here have been unmatched, especially through trying times. A core memory that I will hold on to forever is my bat mitzvah. Everybody here at Temple was extremely accommodating and helpful, as I had to postpone this event due to my diagnosis of leukemia. Visits from the rabbi and other members were extremely uplifting throughout my treatment, and when I had finally had my bat mitzvah, it was more than just an ascension into adulthood or religious maturity, but also a symbol and celebration of my survival. I am extremely grateful for all the friends and family that supported me and continue to, as well as the community here being a part of it.
We rise for the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. We invite back up our bar mitzvah, Aaron, to lead us in the Via Hafta on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, וברכתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, וקשרת מאוד על ידך, והיו טפטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם בארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Our next graduate is Sammy Levine.
All right. So I've had a lot of good experience here at RTFH. I learned a lot of stuff. I met a lot of new people, a lot of nice people. But one thing that really stood out for me was the rack trip, as Asher mentioned earlier. That memory was really good for me, one of the best. We discussed gun violence to Grace Meng's secretary, which is actually the topic that I chose because every year in my law class I have to do something about that for some reason. Yeah, so that was basically my best memory. And I want to really mention how the rabbi was great during that trip. He let us do basically anything we want. I'm being serious. The night that everyone was going to get some food, the rabbi let us go wherever we want because we're from New York. So we got to go to museums and we just got to learn about stuff and how, I don't really know how to describe it. It was just a very good experience. So yeah.
Luckily, whatever they wanted at the time was all things that we were happy to say yes to, so. We turn to our Song of Miracles, Mi Kamocha, page 158.
Mi ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגילו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Song for Shabbat, Vishamru, page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Our next graduate is Lawrence Brown.
These past 5 years, I've been involved in our temple's youth group, Toffee. At first, it was so unappealing to me to being one of the little kids nobody paid attention to. All I wanted was to be part of the older kid club, but I still went every week because Mom told me to. When the pandemic happened, everything changed. We were all forced to talk to each other on Zoom each week. Little did any of us know that that was the best thing that could ever happen for us. When Toffee returned in person at the beginning of this year, everyone clicked immediately. It was something I'd never seen before. It was amazing, and the year went by like that. This past Wednesday was Toffee's final session of the year, and it didn't hit me until the last few minutes and I was on my way home. I tried fighting back tears, and I still am as I wrote this. Toffee was the most special experience of my life thus far. The Toffee board this year was the best I've ever seen in my 5 years, and I see something amazing in each and every one of them and each Toffeeite. That's what makes Toffee so special. When everyone hugged me and wished me well for college, I had never been so happy and sad and confused at the same time. I guess it's true what they say, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Toffee will always hold a special place in my heart, and it is a special opportunity for every high school age kid. On that note, if you are a current 7th grader, ask your parents to sign you up for Toffee next year.
We continue with the center section of our worship, the Tefillah, beginning on page 164, and then using the even-numbered pages only. Please rise.
Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha, Ufi Yagid Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הצל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, לחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא עולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש, ושמך קדוש, כקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Together, you are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Our final graduate sharing is Samara Byers.
Hi everyone, and Shabbat Shalom. I've had a lot of great memories throughout my time at Temple, and it is very hard to choose a favorite. However, my all-time favorite memory might have to be from the rack trip. This trip sparked a conversation between the 6 of us that led to my favorite day during confirmation, which was the day we all brought in our own food to share. I forgot where we were, but I began to talk about my mother's mac and cheese and how good it was. Then I tried my best to describe the kind of bowl it came in, and I did not do a very good job. I did such a bad job, in fact, that everyone agreed I had to make the mac and cheese in the bowl and bring it in for everyone to eat, and that is exactly what I did. That day in confirmation, instead of ordering pizza like we usually do, we all brought in something, and it was a nice personal touch to our weekly meeting. It wasn't long after this meeting that we had to switch to Zoom, and 2 confirmations later, we made it through the other side together. I'm glad we had the opportunity to be in person together, and especially glad we went on the rack trip. Thank you.
I will say Mac and Cheese Day was my favorite day of confirmation, too. We turn to a prayer for peace, a prayer that we most certainly need in this world in every way, shape, and form, in our city, in our country, in this world. Shalom Rav, page 178.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Le'olam. Ki Adon Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom. Ki Adon Vasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, Bashalom.
We continue with our own private prayers.
So this is a melody that comes from the Ukraine. We've been singing it sort of on and off at services, and I guess we'll just keep going for as long as we can to remind ourselves. We earlier discussed how there are two simchas tonight, and those are two life cycle simchas, but we have a third wonderful simcha tonight as we celebrate our women's connection, perhaps the most vibrant and active group in our synagogue in all areas and aspects, from their programming to their leadership, from their fundraising to their kindness. Women's Connection is everywhere in this temple, and if you don't think so, then don't eat any of the cookies after services tonight. As we move from one Women's Connection board to another one, this coming year, Women's Connection is trying a variety of new ways to include more people in leadership. So I'm going to be sharing a bunch of names, some of whom are here in our sanctuary, and some of whom are on our live stream, and some join us in their hearts, all of whom are the leaders of our Women's Connection in the year to come. We invite them physically or symbolically to join us up on the bima. Kathy Frankos, Audrey Frankel, Susan Jolis, Jamie Kinyon, Judy Hendelman, Jane Pinkett, Shelley Radbill, Amy Geffen-Shapiro, Lois Silverman, Suzanne Smiley, and Kerry Spezza, our very many co-presidents. Our treasurer, Susan Grunberg, Vice President of Membership, Marcy Keltai, Vice President of Communications, Rebecca Cabanargi, and the Advisory Committee, Marjorie Blackman, Kathy Frankos, Pauline Kurtzman, and Lois Silverman.
Ki mitzion teitei Torah, ki mitzion teitei Torah, u'devar Adonai mirushalayim.
hold in my hands the Torah, the special piece of our temple history, our community history, our people's history. And each of you are leaders in sharing that history and making it come to life. The way you support each other as a community, the way you support this synagogue and make it more vibrant for all you do, the way you reach out to others here in the temple and beyond. There is nowhere that your love and caring, your wisdom and kindness does not impact. Sisterhoods have always been the lifeblood of Jewish life. In the Reform movement, most every synagogue was founded because of a sisterhood that said, hey, we want somewhere to have religious school and celebrate holidays and be with each other and sometimes to play mahjong. But you have all taken that in this day and age to make our synagogue so much better than it ever could be. Thank you for your leadership, for guiding our congregation in most every way, for all you do to make this a better place to be because of all of you, what you have done, and in anticipation of all that you will do in the year to come. We thank you, we celebrate you, we appreciate you. And together, we're all of you are going to walk with me around the synagogue. As you bring Torah into our community, we're going to all bring Torah into the community together.
And so we say our special blessing for special times and things that happen only once a year and sometimes more times a year, but not a very long time. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo Gadlu Adonai iti Uneromema Shemo Yachtav Lecha Adonai hagidula v'hagivura v'hatiferet v'haleitoch v'hahod ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz ki chol b'shamayim u'va'aretz lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'bina
A Torah portion for this Shabbat is Bahar. We'll be reading from the book of Leviticus, chapter 25, verse 1, at the very beginning of the portion. If you'd like to follow along in the Plout Torah Commentaries, the big, thick Bibles under the seats in front of you, it's on page 850. And to chant our Torah, we get a sneak peek of tomorrow morning's bar mitzvah as Aaron joins us back up on the bima. And for our aliyah, we're delighted and honored to have our co-presidents of Women's Connection for these past years, Marjorie Blackman and Jane Pinkett.
Baruch et Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natalanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe Bahar Sinai Lemor. Daber el Bnei Israel V'amarta Alehem Ki tavo el Aretz Asher ani notein lachem V'shavata ha'aretz Shabbat Adonai Sei sanim tizra sadecha V'sei sanim tizmor Kamecha V'asavta et tivuata.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam Asher natalanu Torah emet V'chayei olam noten b'tochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. With the Torah out in front of us, we offer a special blessing of healing and hope for all those who are sick or ill. We're especially thinking of, on this Shabbat, Elaine Wald, Jamie Stern, Leah Stern, Joan Lipton, Arlene Green, Sadie Rosenkrantz, Roberta Traeger, Jody Ann Herman, Judith Lacasio, Rochelle Weinberg, Don Levy, Larry Bloom, Arnold Gilbert, Barbara Gilbert, Jane Levy, Brenda Levinson, Debbie Ball, Howard Kaufman, Jenny Davidowitz, Ruth Scheidlauer, Beth Singerman Berman. If you have names to additionally add from your heart and from your life, we invite you to call them out loud.
Chaya bat velvo v'hindi.
For all those named, for all those in our hearts, for all those in pain, our Mishaberach for healing is in the middle of page 371.
Mishaberach avotenu mekor haberacha leavotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor haberacha
As we lift and dress the Torah, please rise.
V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. V'zot haTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai b'yad Moshe. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 yai, lai,
We return the Torah to the Ark with the words on page 374. We invite Rhoda Leffert to join us on the bima.
Eit chaim hilam machazikim bavetom hera mehushan. Eit chaim hilam machazikim bavetom hera mehushan. Deracheira, darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Darcheira, darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha mehushan. Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tomcheha mehushan.
Please be seated. We want to offer some special words to our 12th grade graduates, and we're going to begin with our educational director, Faye Gilman.
It's been a few years since I haven't been in a small box doing this, so now I had to write it down so I could remember what I want to say. Shabbat Shalom. I want to wish all of you graduates much luck in your next steps and where you're going next, and I look forward to hearing all of the great things that you take on in the future, and welcome you back to come and visit Tafi and to come visit us regularly. Shabbat Shalom.
Note that all of our 12th grade graduates who are here tonight this evening were all part of our confirmation class, as you might have surmised. So some of my words are directed directly to them and to their experiences. Do you remember when they stole our seats on the back of the bus? Or the anticipation of when Sammy's phone would inevitably die? Or our visits from Johnny Swish and Big Ounce? The drama of pre-COVID seems quaint. Your confirmation class was so rudely interrupted by the pandemic, forcing your celebration delayed and online. How glad we are to be here together in person as we celebrate your journey through religious school and onto amazing times ahead in college and beyond. You've explored much in these years at RTFH. You've created friendships and connections with each other, with other kids, with teachers and clergy that travel with you wherever life takes you. You've learned Hebrew, or at least you did back at your B'nai Mitzvah. You've learned about the breadth of Jewish life, from holidays to rituals to customs to foods. Most importantly, you've absorbed Jewish values, the concepts of caring, community, learning, faith, and perhaps most importantly, making a difference. Each of you have skills and passions to bring blessings and positive growth around us. It might be in your family, your friends, your community, or the whole world. I want you to take away one set of words as you head off into your life ahead. These are probably the most important words we learned during our confirmation year. I have a voice. My voice is powerful. My voice can change the world. I will be singing that later for all those who want to hear the music version of that. Do you remember when we were walking through Union Station and it was filled with hundreds of teenagers attending a Right to Life anti-abortion rally? Every one of those teens was living their voice, speaking what they believed. You must not let others drown out your beliefs, your knowledge, your humanity, your compassion. You have a voice, and you must speak it to change the world. As you graduate from RTFH and from high school, you move into a phase of your life where you aren't just learning, but you're doing. You are change agents right now. You have a powerful voice. It has been my honor to learn and celebrate with you, your parents, and your families, and this community. Now it is your mission to make a difference in the world, to make a difference in your world and our world, and to make it a better place. We invite up to the bima the graduating class of 2022. You stand on this bima because it is your bima. This is your temple, your faith. And you are filled with beliefs and powers. You have been part of the Jewish community. That's different than the other communities you have been part of so wonderfully over these years. This community is based on belief, on faith, and on making a difference. Each of you will make a difference in this world. You already have, and we can't wait to see what's going to ahead for each one of you. It is a blessing to know you, to learn with you, and most especially to learn from you. And we share in this special blessing, a blessing you know too well, and we all know, a blessing of this moment and this time, of the transition from you as high school students to going out into the world. We join together in the Shehechianu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, for letting us go on journeys of connection and of life and coming together today to celebrate it as one. Amen. In honor of your graduation, we have a gift from our Parents Association and a suitable for framing graduation certificate that you can all pick up from Ms. Gilman. As we've shared some of the blessings going on in our temple's life and our community, it's time to share simchas that might be happening in your life. If something good has happened to you in recent days or days ahead, we invite you to raise your hand. I'll come over, tell us your name, and tell us what's going on in your life. I will start with a simcha that I'm pleased to share. This comes from Rabbi Meir and Debbie Perlmutter. They are delighted to share that they have been celebrating 2 B'nai Mitzvah in their lives. A couple weeks ago was the bar mitzvah of their grandson, Eli Oz Perlmutter, son of Ben and Carrie Perlmutter. And coming up just next week is the bat mitzvah of their granddaughter, Chaya Perlmutter Jacques, daughter of Gabby and Scott. So mazel tov to the Perlmutters on this exciting time in their lives. Okay. Other simchas that we might have.
I'm Aaron Levinson, and tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm getting bar mitzvahed.
In 10 days, we're finally going on our very long postponed honeymoon.
Yay.
Who are you?
Oh, Susie Gilbard and Mark Heller. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sloan, and tomorrow for dance, I have a dance parade, and I'm also excited to be selling Aaron's bar mitzvah.
My last performance, Samara Byers. My last performance at my school is next week, and if anyone wanted to come see it, it's actually free, and there's tickets at the door. It's Midsummer Night's Dream, LaGuardia High School.
Sensing no here.
I'm joining last week with Rabbi's 25-year ordination. And I got to see my best friend Alvin for the first time in a long time.
Hi, my name is Samuel Levine, and I'm graduating high school in under a month.
Hi, my name is Suzanne Smiley, and I made it across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I worked with hundreds of, maybe thousands of other people who were also wanted to address our grievance about the new legislation that's being proposed by the, what? Oh, about abortion. Okay, we let our voice with her.
Suzanne joined many thousands at the reproductive rights rally that we had, and we hope we all are going to find opportunities to join her leadership in the future.
My name is Jackson O'Brien, and I'm going to see the long-awaited Matilda Jr. on Sunday with Rabbi.
With?
Oh, with one of the second graders starring in it.
We look forward to many more simchas and joyous events for us to celebrate together. And we move now to the concluding blessings of our service, beginning with the Aleinu in the middle of page 586. Please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo hasanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, ולאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו,
Please be seated. We think now of people we miss so very much. who are always in our hearts and our love. This week, we have special remembrances for those whose yahrzeit occurs at this time, and for all of those who have passed away in recent days. We remember Hattie Altman, Linda Blumkin, Samuel Bookstaver, Anita Bruckenstein, Morris Caesar, Bernard Dworkin, Elizabeth Frankos, Lawrence Frankos, Gertrude Frieser, Hazel Gilson, Fanny Glazer, Mitchell Gold, Anna Greenberg, Louis Hamburg, Clara Priest Harchick, Frank Hers, Herta Hirsch, Craig Lawrence Horn, Louis Joshua Hurwitz, Sylvia Jalonik, David Kane, Harry Kleinman, Harry Constant, Irving Kornberg, Jacob Krohn, Rabbi Solomon Landman, Mel Leffert, Rose Lending, Hilda Levy, Rose Mirabel, Israel Myers, Stanley Myers, Ernst Newman, Joseph Osterling, Sophie Plan, Jack W. Rapps, Israel Reichstein, Leonard Rosenbluth, Evan Rosenstock, Emmanuel Rosenthal, Ruth Shore, Sonia Schultheis, Ann Schwalben, Iris Seckler, Sidney Tanner, Lillian Weiss, Abraham White, Morris White, Heinrich Zahler. And we note in sadness the recent passings of Samuel Lewis Hack, father of our member Marcia Parness, father-in-law of Rory Parness, Zadie to Corinne, Maya, and Noah, and Zadie Great to Anthony and Nicholas. Robert Appleton, friend of Jenny Byers. Sanford Fight, friend of Todd, Cheryl, and Zachary Hausman. Dr. Alan Kamen, uncle of William Kamen. Theodore Grossberg, father of Bruce Grossberg, father-in-law of Laura Rovinsky, grandfather of Sophia. Deborah Bershatsky, friend of Alvin Weingartner. There is pretty much never a week that we wouldn't have people who have been killed in a mass shooting in America whose names might be possible for us to share. Every week there are people we could call out in sadness, in pain, in tragedy, and senselessness. This week we had the names of those who were killed in Buffalo. Roberta A. Drury, Margus D. Morrison, Andre McNeil, Aaron Salter, Geraldine Talley, Celestine Cheney, Hayward Patterson, Catherine Massey, Pearl Young, Ruth Whitfield. We add to these names that we each hold in our hearts. We invite you, if there's someone you're particularly thinking of at this time, to share their name out loud with all of us, or if you're on the live stream, to type it into the chat. For all those we miss today and every day, the Mourner's Kaddish, page 598, is one community we rise to recite these words. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, ve'almad ivrach ruteh v'yamlik malchuteh, v'chayachon v'yomechon, v'chayeh d'cho beit Yisrael, b'agalav zman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha barichu. Le'ela min kol birkata v'shirata, tushbekata v'nechamata, tamiran be'alma v'yamru amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yamru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to every broken heart among us. And let us say, Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru amen.
Amen. Please be seated. With some announcements and news for our congregational family, we invite up Vice President of our synagogue, Andrew Kimler.
Thank you, Rabbi. Thanks again to our clergy, to Joe, Bonnie, the entire support team that makes this all possible. A lot of good things are happening. And I want to start off with our graduating class. You seem like a great bunch of kids. I wish I got to know you better, sincerely. Lawrence, Samara, Betty Rose, Asher, Sammy, when I listened to you, certain words came to mind: caring, resilience, dedication, and fun. Great stuff. But remember, please stay focused on all the good that life has to offer. We wish you much happiness, much luck in your future endeavors. And don't forget us. Aaron, you hit a home run tonight. You knocked it out of the park. Lots of luck to you tomorrow, to Mom and Dad. Do well. We're very proud of you. Mazel tov. And all the best. Women's Connection. Thank you all for your spirited dedication, hard work. We're lucky to have you. And thanks for everything that you do and the food. Very important. We have lots of things going on in the temple. Please check your emails. We have the annual congregation meeting, however, on May 25th. That's Wednesday at 7:30. It's important. Please vote. Everybody has to vote. We are accepting proxies. If you can't show up and vote, please get them to Alan Haberman by May 24th. You can email the proxies or drop them off, but it's very important. Please get them there. And if you can, come, vote. And we will also have reports by the various committees. We will touch on very important subjects, including the redevelopment. So please come. Also, remember, June is Pride Month. There are many, many, many activities going on in the temple. Be alert, follow what's going on in the temple by looking at your e-blasts, and we will be following up and announcing more insofar as those activities are concerned. And Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Next Friday night, we invite you all to join us as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the ordination of the first woman rabbi in North America, Sally Presand. And we're going to do so with our special guest, who's not such a guest, Rabbi Rachel Goldenberg, who's actually a member of our synagogue, but also the spiritual leader at Malchut, a Queens-based Jewish community. And she's also the daughter of Joyce and Rabbi Erwin Goldenberg. So you definitely want to be there to Shep Nachas with them. But in addition to speaking about the 50th anniversary and the role of women as rabbis and cantors and leaders in the Jewish community, we are also going to engage in a huge mitzvah as we will be donating one of our Torahs that we don't use in our synagogue to Malchut, so they have a Torah to use in their community. They do not have one currently. So join us as we join with leaders from her community and we do this incredible mitzvah together as a community. I'd like to thank the Lifer Levinsons for sponsoring tonight's Oneg. And I'd also like to add a special thanks to our graduates' parents, because I've watched you over the years, and sometimes it took your moms or dads to push you out the door to get you to come to B'nai Mitzvah or confirmation or otherwise. And the finished product is amazing, but we all saw the work in progress along the way. So thank you to your parents for their wonderful support of this temple and of each of you. We're going to move to our motzi to get ready for a delicious oneg. On your way into the oneg, we ask you to please return your prayer books to the table on the way in there. And we encourage you all to wear masks when you're not in the process of eating or drinking. To help us with our motzi, I'm going to invite up our 12th grade graduates again. Let's get them one more time up front to join us for the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, te'avon.
Te'avon, bon appetit, and we close with Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, which is on the bottom of page 657. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Twelfth graders to the bima.
Congratulations. You did great.
Yeah. Faye, put back up that photo on the couch. Can you? Yeah. Well, just tell us what order they were in.
Hi. Thank you. You too. Sounds good to you. This is not a flute cleaner. It's so cold and my flute is like there's a lot of condensation and I forgot my cooling rag at home. So I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Okay, here we go. Here, switch
I
order.
must have something in
Asher,
store.
Sammy, Lawrence, Samara, Betty Rose. Can we do the same positions? That's gonna be harder without a couch. We'll recreate this photo. Move over a little bit, so everyone move over, step that way. Good. Good.
Oh, there it is. I have one.
You got it.
Thank goodness. I was like, it's gonna like get moldy by tomorrow because it's cold, right? I was thinking I have to go shopping and get like a jacket.
Time to get home safe.